Oh, it's John Black, super chemist. We're going to finally talk about the Bush family. We're going to start with, everyone has two grandparents, one from your mom and one from your dad, right? This is the grandfather of George H.W. Bush, the older Bush that was the president that was the older one. This is his grandfather on his mother's side. His name was George Herbert Walker. You can see he's a banker. Let's see what else. He started a banking and investment firm named G.H. Walker and Company in 1900. And the one thing I wanted you to notice, though, is this right here, right, where it says Union Banking. Walker was a director of the blah 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 and the Union Banking Corporation. That's a Nazi bank, okay, that funded the Nazis, okay, I think here. So that's all I wanted you to see on that. Let's go look at his other grandfather on his dad's side, right? His dad is Prescott Bush, and Bush's dad is Samuel Prescott Bush. He was in the steel industry, you can see. And what else does it say about him? Career. Oh, I wanted you to notice this part here about his career. Right now, he's in the banks too. But I want you to notice here, in 1901, Bush returned to Columbus to be general manager of Buckeye Steel Casting Company, which manufactured railway parts. The company was run by Frank Rockefeller, the brother of the oil magnate John D. Rockefeller, and among his clients were the railroads controlled blah blah blah, the Bush families. The Bush and Harriman families were closely associated, at least until the end of World War II. Rockefeller was the president. So there's an association with the Rockefellers, because they're always around. The Rockefellers and the... see, I think this is where their marriage became, between the Rockefeller family and the Bush family, was between Prescott Bush and the Rockefellers right there. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just saying it looks right. But I want you to see here too that in spring of 1918, okay, here, Bush became chief of the Ordnance of Small Arms and Ammunitions section, with national responsibility for government assistance to and relations with munitions companies. See, he's part of the war machine during World War I, right? And then the other grandfather, he was in the Union Bank, so he was doing World War II, okay? They're all getting in, they're all the same people, man. So I want you to notice this too. Bush served on, this is Prescott Bush, the president's dad, the former president's dad. Bush served on the board of the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. And the Federal Reserve Bank, if you watch my videos about Federal Reserve Banks, they're evil. Anyone who is... And notice how I say they move back and forth, between working for the Federal Reserve Bank, the World Bank, the corporations like BlackRock and that, and these Halliburton and, these war machine factories. They become the president one day, the next day they're vice president or the president. The next day they're working for the Federal Reserve Bank. It's like come on, people. So that's basically, I wanted you to notice that he did the Federal Reserve Bank. He served on the board. Like, really? Come on, man. You can't get more evil than that. You know what I mean? So those are the two grandparents. Now let's look at the parent, Prescott Bush, the parent of George H.W. Bush, the first, the older president, right? He's a banker, American banker. After working as a Wall Street executive investment banker, he represented Connecticut in the United States Senate from 1952 to 1963. Like 10 years there. He's a senator. What else is this guy up to, right? Notice is Jeb Bush is his governor, and you got all these people. Sarah Palin, she's a governor. She's related to the Bushes. All these people that are in government and whatever, they're all related to the Bushes, the Rockefellers, the Roosevelts, the Kennedys. They're all just families, and they're mafia families is what they're. The Kennedys were bootleggers at the beginning. But anyways, I want you to look at this here, this one part here now. Again, they're talking about during World War One. Wait a second. Now, he served. Okay, here. Bush staunchly support means greatly, or a lot, supported President Eisenhower and helped him do a bunch of stuff. But he loved Eisenhower. I want to bring that up. Eisenhower is a Bush puppet. Okay, he's a Bush puppet. He's a piece of garbage. Is what he is. They're all garbage, though, for presidents. So what else? During World War I, like we brought up last time about Samuel Bush, the dad of the dad, he was in charge. He was a federal government official in charge of weapons contracts. Yeah, during World War I. Yeah, he was part of the machine, right? And his dad, right, Samuel Bush. And then during World War II, Prescott Bush, he becomes the machine for World War II. Okay, World War I was Sam Bush and his buddies, J.D. Rockefeller, funding the war. They were just funding every war just because of them. So what else is about Bush here? Let's see. He was part of the Skull and Bone Society, the whole family. And that might be it. Oh, no. We got the Union Bank. Remember? The first guy we were talking about, George Bush's mother's dad, right? Oh, I have it written down. That's right. I have it written down. Remember, he was on the board of directors for the Union Bank, right? Wait, where's... Hold on 1 second, because I lost my paper. But anyways, now we get back down to this Union Bank again, because this guy's on the Union Bank too, right? Where does it say? Where's that Union Bank? Here we go. In 2007, Harper Magazine published an article by Scott Horan claiming that Prescott Bush was involved in the 1934 business plot, a failed plot by some of America's wealthiest to trick retired Marine Corps Major General Smedley Butler into helping them overthrow President FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt. So this is the kind of guy they're talking about. Prescott trying to take over, overthrow the president FDR. Okay, Bush's dad. This is Bush's dad. Okay. Then it comes out that the Union Banking Corp, right, that's run by Bush, was the founder and one of 7 directors. We already said one of the directors was Prescott Bush's his wife's dad, Walker, the guy, Walker guy. So then I'll just read this. An investment bank, they're talking about the Union Bank Corporation, is an investment bank that operated as a cleaning house for many assets and enterprises held by German steel magnate Fritz Thyssen, an early supporter of Adolf Hitler and financier of the Nazi Party. In July 1942, the bank was suspected of holding gold on behalf of the Nazi leaders. A subsequent government investigation disproved all allegations but confirmed the Thyssen's control, and in October 1942 the United States seized the bank under the Trading with the Enemies Act. Okay, even though in July they said that he was innocent, they still took his bank and held the assets for the duration of World War II, and then the bank was given back to him. Okay, so what they're saying here is the bank, the Union Bank, and this guy Fritz Thyssen were accused, being Nazi, collaborators, helping the Nazi, funding the Nazis, through their bank. But they investigated it, and they found out that the Union Bank was not, guilty. Only Fritz Thyssen was guilty. Okay, but they still took his bank, right? And then they gave it back to him because he's a Bush, so no punishment for him. But I want you to read this. I want you to read this next part here. Journalist Duncan Campbell pointed out documents showing that Prescott Bush was a director and shareholder of a number of companies involved with Thyssen, the Nazi collaborator. Bush was the director of the Union Banking Corporation that represented Thyssen's U.S. interest and continuing to work for the bank after America's entry into the war. I mean, the collaboration is so blatantly, I don't think anyone disagrees that he was a traitor. And that's George Bush's dad, Prescott Bush. Okay? So, think about that, right? That's why Nazi stuff just keeps coming in. As I talk now about all these people and these families, Nazism always comes up over and over and over and over and over again. Never ending with the Nazi collaboration with this family.